Monday. Was March 4th, 5th? Somebody help me out with that. But I got the image of the Supreme Court behind me because there's been some breaking news. The Supreme Court has ruled that Donald Trump cannot be kicked off of the Colorado primary, which is going to be a snowball effect because there's a case pending in Illinois, which was put on delay, which, like I said, this thing, you can't make these things up. You can't make these things up, and you have just tuned into a Better Black America TV talk radio. It's Monday morning, and hey, top of the morning to you. It's 9:11 on the West Coast. Now, we got to be honest with ourselves. What's going on in this world today? They're trying to defeat their enemy by using the minions and the pawns on their chessboard. Because if you did not know, a lot of the pundits or a lot of the commentators believe that Trump would be exonerated. And like I said, I have no skin in the game, so it's like, commentating a basketball game. I'm basically telling you that Letitia James went up 1-0. The state of Colorado went up 1-0. The state of Illinois has went up 1-0 to basically try to destroy his career and his presidency. But the Supreme Court has ruled that according to the 14th Amendment, they all had their arguments, but they all voted unanimously to not take Trump off of the state ballot, which means that all the other states that was waiting on the Supreme Court to rule basically took an L as well. So now that you are basically trying to destroy human, because it's not flesh and blood, it's powers, principalities, evildoers in high places, and the evildoers that's making all these moves, we don't know who they are, but they use elected officials that they put and pump money behind to basically, put us in this, in this pickle. But as people of color, as people, browns, blacks, people in a different class, we are not going to support this democracy system because we don't want to be guilty by association. Like I said, I'm not a MAGA Republican. I'm not an insurrectionist. I'm not even a Democrat. I'm an independent free Negro that's basically trying to enlighten individuals, to basically join the crusade. Let's just sit back and watch the games, because we don't want to be a part of a system that's predicated on winners and losers. Okay, because if you want to talk about winners and losers, right now the Democrats are taking L's. Okay, and then their common enemy is the Republicans, but they demonize the Republicans. Now here in California tomorrow, Super Tuesday, and we have a proposition on the ballot. It's called Prop 1. And Prop 1 is basically to deal with mental illness, the homeless population, and housing, but it's a slap in the face to the working class. It's a slap in the face to individuals who have decided to do things the right way, because we are living in a society where they want to skip the working class, to skip the middle class, to basically create, a wide margin of separation and go into the gutter and basically just do what they want to do. Because all of these people that's homeless, that's living in the streets, anybody that wants to help themselves and pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, they're going to have to do what the black man has been doing his entire career, being documented in this great nation for going on 400 years this August. Documentation, August 20th of the year 1619. So now that the drugs are prevalent in the homeless communities, people are basically, retired veterans. And if you are a veteran, go to the Veteran Affairs. They take care and help the veterans out. But we are using the politics to keep the people blinded so we can actually continue to funnel money to the state to create this ecosystem where crime pays and all of the negative things that we've been dealing with. So we're going to break the cycle. We're going to have to basically, rise above the madness and pay attention and take a page out of the Arab and Palestinian community up in the state of Michigan. They did a protest vote. it was approximately 17% after the ballots were counted. 17% of registered Democrats decided to vote undecided. Now, if you made a commitment to a marriage, made a commitment to a college or university, and then you decided to be uncommitted, what does that mean? That means you don't want to be a part of the operation that you signed up to. So as a free black man, black men by the droves are abandoning the Democratic Party. We're not running to the Republican Party, but we would rather cut a deal with some conservative Republicans because we are conservatives ourselves. We're God-fearing, okay? One man, one wife, God, man, woman, and our children. And we are here wanting to leave an inheritance to our children's children. But when you look at what they call democracy, which the Democratic Party runs that, their whole operation is to demonize human beings. I watch our sitting president, President Joe Biden, call white people Neanderthals. Last time that I checked, he was a white Caucasian as well. Why would he call them a Neanderthal? Because some of his script writers are gay black men or black women, and they're basically making it seem like, he's a black man, which is not the case. He is a white, Southern Dixiecrat that was connected to the South. If you want to know the truth about our sitting president, he is a white Dixiecratic Democrat. He said he's from Delaware, and that's from the South. And when he said it, he was in the presence of Senator Byrd, who was a known Klansman. Now, it was debunked that he was a grand wizard, but he was a known Klansman. So just look at Joe Biden's 94 crime bill. What did he do? He locked up the slaves. And slavery is still legalized in America because it's under the umbrella of the criminal justice system. Our Constitution, the 13th Amendment, reads neither slavery nor involuntary servitude unless criminalized. And that criminalization clause it needs to be redacted. And that's the purpose we are here in 2024 to do this. We are not going to sit on the sidelines and just let this great nation, just wither away to a sitting president who is a known Zionist. You have the Kamala Harris in Alabama, the March on Selma, talking about that she supports a ceasefire in Ukraine, in Gaza, between the Israel and the Palestinian war. She says she wants a ceasefire, but the president does not support a ceasefire. He's 100% locked in with Israel because he has a bill and supports a bill that wants to send $95 billion in aid and split it up between Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Why is he not trying to help the Palestinian people who he is funneling his money and his time and his energy as a Zionist, which is far right? Now, two rights make a left and two lefts make a right. If you continue to go too far right, you're going to end up on the backside of left. So we are being hoodwinked, tricked, bamboozled, led astray. This is why we're running them up. The former president, 45, went down to the southern border on Thursday. The Biden team heard that he was going down there, so Biden went and had a press conference in Brownsville, which was approximately 300 miles away from the border, when former President Donald Trump went down and he went with the governor of Texas right there on the front lines. He saw the line. He saw the where the migrants cross over. He was right there on the front line, and that's Governor Abbott that he went down there with. So the president of the United States think we're ignorant, think we're stupid, thinks we're retarded, but he's a retarded one. And they basically are committing elderly abuse. When you are a sitting president, you have the power of the pen. And it's called the power of executive order or executive action. Joe Biden can close the southern border down right now if he chooses to do so. But he says it's above his pay grade. So if the sitting president says something is above his pay grade, who is he answering to? Who is he listening to? Who's making the decisions? Those evildoers in high places that we don't see, and their common enemy is a human being. It's not flesh and blood, but their common enemy is Donald J. Trump. And like I said, we don't support Trump. We don't support the Republican Party. We are actually uncommitting to the Democratic Party, and we're going to have to let them have a fair one. My ancestry, I looked it up. My last name is Glover. There was over 1,300 Glovers fought on the Union side, and they were all slaves from North and South Carolina. So think about that. The Union needed the black newly freed slave to defeat the Democratic Dixiecratic South that fought to preserve slavery, Miss Nikki Haley, who is a presidential candidate who is running interference, who needs to just walk away because nobody is going to vote for a red dot Indian, and especially the GOP, the grand old party, the Republicans. Yes, Nikki Haley is a first generation red dot Indian, and all her money and funding is coming from the Democratic Party so they can have something to say when she pulls her 33%. And then you look at the liberal news station, MSNBC or CNN, and they go, well, what do you feel about this? 33% is against Trump. But we all know without a shadow of a doubt, when she taps out, if you are a Republican, you are a Republican. If you are conservative, you are conservative. If you are an evangelical Christian, you're going to vote with the Republican Party no matter what. But now, the Democratic Party is having its civil war for the first time. And I like to thank the Palestinian community, Rashida Tlaib, the elected congresswoman in Michigan, for having the heart and the courage and to know and understand that they will not be reselecting or re-voting President Joe Biden into the presidency because he is funding the genocide of their people. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Seriously, let that sink in. Our federal government, under the leadership of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, is basically funding a genocidal operation. Our sitting president, Joe Biden, wrote the 94 crime bill, which basically was a 3 strikes and you're out rule, which went from 6% of the population as black men, which jumped us up to almost 67, almost 70% of the prison population. And then depending on where you are, there is prison labor, which is free labor. And Kamala Harris was a top cop in California, the Attorney General of California, and she was basically locking us up. So when that team got together, we knew without a shadow of a doubt that there was going to be problems. She was his biggest threat. On the when they did have a primary, respectfully, the last presidential cycle, when they all was on the stage, Kamala Harris brought up that Joe Biden voted against busing, and she said she was one of those brown girls that wanted to be a part of the busing system, and he voted against it. And when she shut him down, within days, everybody dropped out. He called her and he told her, I want you to be my running mate. So is that not the science of Willie Lynch 101? You get the black woman in a house with you, which is an illusion, and you'll have her controlling the masses due to her, her sorority affiliation, which is the Divine Nine, through her Black College Association, and we'll basically use her as a pawn on our chessboard to convince, women who live themselves vicariously through other black women, our grandmothers, our grandparents, our grandfathers. But Generation X on down is rejecting. We are rejecting what the Democrats have to offer. Because I have some Latino friends, and if you didn't know, in California, we have a large Hispanic population. And this large Hispanic population been having conversations with me how they are voting on the Republican side in support of Donald Trump. And I sit back and I talk to them and I let them know what we're doing. We're not supporting either side, but they confirm with me that they are conservative. They believe in God, man, woman, and child. They don't support the LGBTQ community. They don't support crime. They migrated to this country, 3rd, 4th generation, and they are investing in taxpayers, and they are sick and saddened to what they see what's going on in these liberal states. Now, when you have an elderly woman, much respect to Maxine Waters. She was one of us back in the 90s because we supported her, because when the cocaine and all that was coming into the community, I remember meeting her as a young congresswoman at the formerly Pepperdine University, which is Crenshaw Christian Center right now. And she basically went on stage and said, we don't own no airplanes. We don't own no poppy seeds. We don't own ships. So how is the cocaine getting into the community? And not too far after that, her husband was a major banker. He went under investigation, and then she literally went on and 100% with the Democrats. So there's commercials going right now where she says we got to get out there and vote, but she says we got to get out and vote, and we got to defeat Trump and those MAGA Republicans. If your only campaign strategy is to defeat the other person, that means you have nothing to offer. Think about that. Nothing to offer. So why are we allowing and sitting back and remaining silent and not speaking up? So what I'm saying is a Better Black America TV has signed on to speak up and to have the conversation, because this is basically truth against power. We're fighting against a system that's predicated on the destruction of human beings, a murderous system and a murderous society. And it's a global situation. So when you have weak leadership in America, you got everybody going out there and making moves. I'm surprised we don't have more wars and more bombings, because we know the United States is not going to do nothing but give Sleepy Joe an ice cream cone. And when I say Sleepy Joe, my black fellow brethren continue to hurt my heart, and to continue to, talk and not understand that we are not slaves anymore. And when I say this, that we are not slaves anymore, I'm being brutally honest. We are not slaves. We don't have to sit back and listen to somebody tell us what to do, tell us who to vote for. That man said if we don't vote for him, we not black. Joe Biden said that, because you have a black gay man and a black woman writing his script. This is what this is. So you have black human beings where our ancestors fought for the Voting Rights Act, fought to be inclusive, fought to be a part of this nation, but they killed the president that was literally on our side in JFK. And then the vice president, the most racist president in American history, Lyndon B. Johnson, became president. And he said, you know what? They got a bright idea. These Negroes is looking to vote and they want voting rights. Let's call in all the Negro leaders, including Dr. King, which was a Negro leader at the time, and let's give them everything they want. But if they come in here and we give them everything they want, from now until somebody figure it out or until a phenomenon happens, they're going to have to vote for us and they're going to have to be Democrats. And this is what happened. This is why they have Bonnie Willis down there, looking stupid, making the entire race look bad. This is why they have Letitia James suing somebody over on a victimless crime, because he pumped up his possessions so he can actually get a loan, in which was paid back. Think about that. We are men, we are women, we are human beings. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Look how they are using us. Look how you got Alvin Bragg, a brother, the district attorney in Manhattan, allowing migrants to come into the community, kick his police officers in the head, release them from jail, and then due to pressure want to have a press conference to basically, use tax dollars as a manhunt to hunt down to the migrants that he let out of his city. And if you want to really, have some fun, go on YouTube and look at some videos, because in these migrant centers, I saw the migrants throwing chairs at the police, hit a black police officer's sister in the head. She couldn't do nothing but just panic. And I'm sitting back like, wow, if we resist, y'all know what's going to happen to us. Think about that. We can't even resist. If they say turn around and give me your hand, we got to go we got to just, every tense muscle in our body got to relax, because they're looking to do something to us. But when it comes to these migrants, they could kick them in the head. They could throw chairs and hit black women police officers in the head, and there's no uproar. And then we had a migrant killing, the first documented migrant killing, a lily white woman from the campus, a nursing school student in the state of Georgia, went out for her morning walk, her morning run on the trail, and was brutally beaten and battered by an illegal immigrant who came in through the Grand Rio Valley. They got documentation on that. But your president, Joe Biden, went to Brownsville, didn't say nothing about it. Remember when they were saying, say her name, say his name and the George Floyd? My question is, does white lives matter? Not to the Democratic Party, because if a black man gets murdered or killed by the police, yeah, they're going to let us use Facebook, Instagram, Google, WhatsApp, and all of these applications to blow it up, to basically get us protesting and writing Black Lives Matters, not only on the streets, but on our basketball courts. And George Floyd wasn't nothing but a dope head that basically should have got his big ass in the car. That's what that should have been. I'm not saying that he should have died or anything like that, but what they used that to make and talk about create change, it didn't do anything. It was a big money grab for all of these nonprofit organizations. That's all it was. And what happened to Black Lives Matter? Where's the sisters? They spend a little of the money that they raised from this nonprofit that they've created. And what happened? They got demonized because there's some entity out there that do not want to see a race of people grow and close the class gap. There's a group of people. We don't know who they are. We can speculate. We can allegedly. But these people are, liberals for sure, because a conservative handle their business. A conservative respect. You can be gay or a lesbian and be conservative. We'll never know. But look at the Democratic Party. Look at the liberals, how they want to put it in your face. Don't call, if you see a man and he don't go by that pronoun no more, man, this is all democracy. And what I aforementioned earlier about my Latino friends, they basically told me Democrat means ruled by the devil. And that's clear as day. So us as a people, we really got to start pulling ourselves, away from the two-party or the two-tier system, because it is a civil war and it's destruction to everybody, and we all will be affected because we'll be guilty by association. But there's only one race on this planet, and that's the human race. So we got to understand this. So if there's only one race on this planet and the human race, who is our president calling Neanderthals? Who is the president talking to? He got black, gay script writers, and if you didn't know, his campaign strategist or campaign manager is a gay black man. And gay black men cannot be trusted because they're living a lie. They have no morals. They have no self-respect. Think about it. You cannot trust a gay black man with nothing, because gay black men hate heterosexual black men. Because they wish they was us. They wish they would have, the power that we have. They wish they could have the confidence that we have. They wish they could tell their stories about hooking up with females and doing all of that. But subscribe and we'll talk about that. But right now I want to stick to the script. And the script is that the Supreme Court, our Supreme Court right here, voted unanimously in favor of 45, which more than likely will be 47. Because listen, all dogs go to heaven. Donald Trump is just a man. That man is from Jamaica, Queens, New York. Jamaica, Queens, New York. New York City. He ain't from the South. They ain't never owned no plantations. So when you talk about politics, let's keep it real and keep it 100. And we're going to have to fight this common fight and stand on the side of righteousness and go against the unrighteous. And this is what this world's war is about. It's about good and evil. And if you look at the democracy system as a whole, it needs an enemy, because a Democrat will say, get out there and vote. We got to defeat those MAGA Republicans. MAGA, what? That sounds too much like MAGA to me. So you are with the party, the most racist party, that called us niggers. We couldn't even eat in the same kitchen. We had to use the back door, colors only, sit on the back of the bus. And now you are using their same tactics that they used against us, against true God-fearing, blood-born American citizens. Think about that. Our history is our history as blacks. But you have white Americans in this country that has a history as well. And it's not, embedded in slavery. It's a success story. I know so many white people that I've been invited to their homes and met their grandparents, and they're from Europe and they flying in out the country and talk about what happened when they migrated to this nation. They talk about, how they started their own business, how they went to college and went to school and got their master's degree and got their doctoral degree, and they're living and they fought hard to be who they are. But somehow the Democratic Party want to act like, that's not the American story. So they want to bring in migrants to replace the blacks, because the blacks are starting to understand, to grow and to be successful in this nation, you got to have a portfolio. You got to have a 401k. You got to play, and invest in the stock market. You got to start saving, your little nest egg. You got to start thinking about entrepreneurship. So they're basically saying, since we're leaving the plantation, they're going to basically open the southern border, put these individuals in our community, allow them to war against us, kill us for gang initiations, and then what? The scam had just went on and continued on and on and on and on. So with that being said, listen, the Supreme Court has ruled Donald Trump will remain on the ballot in the state of Georgia. So the state of Illinois, that basically tried to do the same thing, he's going to be on all 50 states. Not 51 like Joe Biden said, all 50 states. And like I said, as a man that fears only nothing but God, do not fear the shooters and the killers. We have to understand the ones we need to worry about are the ones that want our soul. And when that white Dixiecratic racist Joe Biden said this race is for the race of America, for the soul of America, it scared me. And then I thought about it because you are tuned in right now to a Better Black America TV. It got a betterblackамerica.com. When I saw, his Build Back Better, and I said, wait a minute. Then I start seeing other stuff. Nikki Haley, A Better America. I'm like, wait a minute. Why they robbing them? Why, we should be suing them for some trademark. Because they don't know no better. They can only steal, kill, and destroy and rely on artificial intelligence. This is why I'm going ham and I do lives, because a lot of people are using this artificial intelligence and they are literally bots and trying to control the minds, because eventually they just want us to just get in line and be convinced that that's not a buzzsaw. Even if you see the a person in front of you get buzzed, and they just want us to just walk in and just like some idiots. But God's people shall not perish due to the lack of knowledge. We're seeking a constitutional amendment which will end the prison industrial complex. We're looking to invest in communities of color, because a better Black America is a better America for all people. Because if the Black community was thriving, that means the white community gonna thrive. That means the Latino community gonna thrive. That means the Asian community gonna thrive. And if the Black community is not thriving, you see what you see. Blacks and from the urban community going into y'all community, along with Browns, gangbangers, and they robbing y'all. So we need your support. It's not a color thing. It's only one race, and that's the human race. And we need your support, because if you help us get our act together and support legislation that we're going to be putting out there, then we all win, okay? We will all win. And the word black, Latino, Asian, Caucasian kinsmen, meaning we all related. And I'm what they call a CRIP, okay? A CRIP, Community Revolution and Progress, and I'm also a Blood, Blacks and Latinos Overcoming Oppression Through Discipleship. So with that being said, hit that like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to a Better Black America talk show live. And basically the show is predicated on the Supreme Court ruling that Donald J. Trump cannot be removed from the primary ballot in the state of Colorado. So with that being said, y'all have an amazing day. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Make sure y'all share, like, and subscribe. It's your man, Bushan Glover, signing out for a Better Black America talk show. Peace out. Y'all still here? Peace out. Y'all, I'm out of here.